I want to welcome you guys to Pause and Play NOLA podcast across the river. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. And the reason I say that is because we have a great podcast in store for you. Just keep in mind, this podcast is not scripted. We don't have no cue cards. We don't have no producers.
We woke up like this.
We woke up like this. So I have Biker in person in the truck.
Hey.
Don't worry about my tire gauge. Don't worry about my oil gauge. Don't worry about none of that.
You can drop some money and let us get some more gas.
That's right. Yeah, and don't worry about how dirty my truck is. It's a work truck. Stay focused. But I also have a good friend of mine on the phone. We'll call him Badcook. And so Biker is my brother right under me. And Biker and Badcook have a lot of similarities in some ways, but it's providential that I have both of them on the podcast today. Now, Badcook is at work, so just keep that in mind. If you hear any background noise, it's just one of those things. People got to work. So I want to start by saying, Biker, could you introduce yourself?
Wow.
Enough said. Badcook, could you introduce yourself? Now, like I said, Badcook at work, but we're gonna make this work. So
yes, I'm here.
All right, introduce yourself, please, Badcook.
Introduce myself. Let's see. What? My name is Badcook.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you, Badcook.
Yes.
Comment ça va?
Bien.
Ça va bien, yeah. So anyway, so today's episode is going to be different because it's two in one, but
Double
feature. That's right, and that's the cool thing about the podcast. So
you could do it like that.
You could do it like that. So Biker, why don't you tell us about that experience you had where you met that SUV?
Oh, man. That's a bad memory. It's a good memory because it's a memory. But I don't think I was supposed to have no more memories after that experience.
Right.
But not being aware, not having the presence of mind to realize my circumstance and my situation, I for a split second lost focus of paying attention to the road because I was excited to get home and modify my bike.
What kind of bike you talking about?
It's a poor man Harley Davidson.
Okay.
But
so it's a Honda.
A Honda clone. Facts.
Yeah.
So look, I left a friend's house. Well, who I thought was a friend, but that's a whole nother story. I left a guy's house who I was
a former acquaintance.
Yeah, I was just, trying to be friendly around and with because he was a part of my last employment. So I left his house, which I shouldn't have went anyway, because the way I got there was so jacked up. 75% of the people in my position at that moment wouldn't even left their house. But I left, and I went to get my little mods, and I couldn't turn my bike off the whole time I was there. And honestly, I was there maybe 20 minutes too long. So I'm sitting there. If I'd have shut my bike off, I wouldn't have been able to start it back up because at the time I had dead cell in my battery. So I left his house, and on the street that I was heading to, was a side street. Well, it was the main street. I was on a side street. And for a split second, I completely lost focus of where I was and what I was doing. I really got turned around because I didn't know where he lived. And when I found out where he lived, I came off of a different street, which runs parallel to the street that he actually lived on. It was just a little further up. So I make a wrong turn, get turned around. So I make it to his house, and I go to leave, and as I'm leaving, you know, I'm in La La Land in my head. I'm like, yeah, man, I can't wait, because I'm gonna go do my thing, and everybody gonna be looking at me side eye when I pull up and I'm blinding everybody, right? Because I was gonna do the little underglow mod on my bike. So I get to the corner of this guy's street and the main road, and for a split second I just really lost focus. I accidentally I can't say I ran the stop sign, because I actually came to a stop. I just
didn't yield.
I wasn't aware of where the stop sign was.
Okay.
Because I placed myself on a street.
A different street.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was looking for a green space after the corner.
Right.
So I can get to the stop sign.
Right.
So when I passed the corner, it was no green space.
Right.
So I automatically knew I messed up, and
now
I did something
right there.
wrong.
Stop right there. So, Bad Cook.
Yep.
You gotta share the beginning of your story.
That's what's up.
The beginning of my story. Which story is that?
The window story. Window glass.
Oh, 2018. Okay.
Yeah, 2018.
Well, like Biker, speaking about experiences. Let's see. So, my night job, which was my secondary job, I would deliver windows, windshields, mirrors, etc. All things windows for vehicles. And on this particular day, I stopped in the city I was in. I had a few different stops, but at the same time, we had something going on with our normal van. So the van that I was in was actually a rental van, and so it was a little different. It was a newer model, had a little more modifications on the dash and everything, but nonetheless. So I'm riding down the road, and I stopped at the store, like I always do, and this particular city is my last stop before I head back hour and a half, hour 1:45 to my house.
Okay.
So I texted the family, said, hey, I'm headed back home, like I always did, grab my little drink, and set up my little GPS just in case traffic happens or whatever. Set it on the little adapter port they had for it, and I just slowly go down the road traveling through the city. So the speed limit is 45, something like that, 50. And on this particular day, the traffic was a little heavier than normal. Then it kind of cleared up.
Yeah.
And you know something about, so as I'm getting to this particular area, there's little side roads. There's a little side road where you can, if a person was to cross, they could be in that road. But the road actually turns to where you can turn left. There's a left turning lane that it just kind of goes in.
Yeah.
So you can just turn into that lane without even, pretty much almost no warning.
Right.
So, I guess this is the climax and everything, because like stuff happens so fast.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been 7 years. A lot of stuff is a blur.
Yeah.
But I do recall seeing, you know, you think you see someone, but it's like you don't see them.
Yeah.
And you're looking at traffic, you know, in a split second, you're looking at things, and you don't expect someone to come out in front.
All right, now stop right there, Badcook. We're gonna go back to Biker.
I like your style. I like your style.
Yeah, and that's beneficial for everybody.
Facts, because you ain't got to restart a whole nother story.
And also, you wanna get a person a second to get their facts and thoughts together.
Yeah, mine is very vivid.
Yeah.
I can't forget it if I want it.
So, Biker, you said you messed up.
Yeah.
You knew you messed up.
Yep.
All right.
When I saw the stop sign, I knew I'm not a criminal. I don't ever leave or go anywhere thinking, how can I break the law?
Right.
It's never beneficial to break the law. So automatically, second nerve, handful of back brake, instantly handful of front brake.
Yeah, lock it up.
And because I know how to make that maneuver, I instantly came to a stop. And I was maybe, I can't even say 5 foot in the front of the stop sign once
you braked.
I came to a complete halt.
Right.
So when my feet touched the ground as the front tires stopped, I looked to my left immediately and was blessed to see one of the scariest sights I've never dreamed of nothing that scary. See full-size Nissan Armada, I don't know, 6,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Barreling. Like, I didn't even have time to think about what it was. It just instantly happened. And when it happened,
you knew.
As I was flying, I knew I messed up.
Yeah.
But I literally flew maybe 25, 30 feet away from the impact.
Wow.
And it wasn't even brakes in my, like, I didn't hear anything. It just was
right. He hit you
through the air. I remember hitting the ground so hard my eyes opened because they were shut.
Okay.
And they opened and I had a glance, like a snapshot of, you know, the road that I was laying in.
Right.
Middle of the night.
You on your back looking up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
supine.
As I hit, I rolled and I landed up being on my back looking up. And I'm thinking to myself, is this it? Is this what you know, being dead is after?
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I didn't have the right mind to jump up. I didn't have the right mind to be aware of cars passing down the street. So, like, maybe 5 seconds after, I just remember a guy, an older gentleman, and he is definitely a gentleman, but he was a homeless guy. Yeah. And he just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah. Now it's nighttime. He could have been walking down the shoulder, and I just didn't see him because I was getting hit by a truck. Right. Right. But as I open my eyes, he's standing over me. Well, he's kneeling, and his hand is out. Yeah. And he's telling me, "You okay? You all right? Yeah. Everything gonna be all right. Everything is all right." And I'm looking at him like, you know, my helmet is shifted on my head. My visor is missing. Yeah. I feel heat and liquid on my legs, my arms. Like, I know I'm bleeding, but I'm not even in the right mind to be like looking at what's bleeding, if it's still like connected, if it's dangling. Right. Like, I'm not even worrying about me. I'm just sitting there thinking about what just happened. Yeah. And this old dude, I'm pretty sure if he wasn't with me, I would have like lost consciousness or something, because it was really traumatic. Yeah. But I did it to myself. And because I wasn't aware, because I had a lapse in judgment of where I was at that very exact time, it almost cost me some limbs and my life.
Yeah.
But because I believe in who I believe in,
Yeah.
I was able
Yeah.
to walk away from that on my own. Ambulance showed up maybe 3 minutes after I hit the ground.
Yeah.
Because the firehouse is like,
It's right there. Yeah.
you could throw a football and knock their front door in from where I got
And the
smashed.
ambulance beat the fire department.
Ambulance pop up and they like, sir, are you okay? Do you know what just happened? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm a little bloody and, you know,
Yeah.
I feel a little tightness, but
Yeah.
then you know, they telling me it's your adrenaline and
Yeah.
it's gonna wear off, and when it wears off, the pain gonna cut on, and I'm telling them,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm not going to
All
the
right.
hospital.
You good. Hang on.
All right.
Thank you.
For sure.
I know it's hard to relive
No, go ahead. I love
a traumatic
this.
moment,
I love it. 'Cause
especially
it makes me better.
when you escaped
Facts.
the clutches
of death.
of demise.
Yes.
Badcook,
Yeah.
you were saying
Yes.
that the left turning lane, and you potentially saw someone, you saw traffic, you saw this, you saw that, but you never thought.
And like so many experiences, when they say, I don't know what the seconds is, the 0.seconds,
Yeah.
blink of an eye,
Facts.
I can't recall if I looked in the rearview mirror to possibly get over. You know, like when someone's stunting at you and you think they may come over.
Yeah.
Like you see a cop on the side and you're like, should I get over? Wait,
Right.
hold on. Is this the best decision? I know I should, but
Yeah.
wait, hold on. This car.
Due
So,
regard,
you're looking over,
safely.
you see abnormal lights that
True.
you normally don't see.
Right.
And then, blink of an eye, you hear bang. You hear what appears to be, you hear something first. And then you just see what I thought, literally, was a Godiver.
Was a what?
A Godiver.
A cadaver. Yeah.
Or a Godiver. I thought it was like a dummy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a dummy doll. Like
Yeah.
someone threw a mannequin
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I'm looking at this person for, man, maybe 3 seconds. And I'm telling the person, get off of my truck.
Wow.
I'm guessing at this point I'm stupefied.
Yeah, you're in shock.
In
You're
a
in shock.
stunned.
Yeah, you're in
Because I
shock.
don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. So I'm not driving anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't remember having my foot on the pedal. I don't know. This thing just came in front of me, like a plane fell on my van,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do. And I guess I'm in shock. And then once whatever, I didn't really realize what it was in the moment. Once the person goes under or is gone, it's almost like a movie. Like on the movie when the main character
Yeah.
that you don't expect to die flies off of the plane.
Yeah.
This is a Steven Seagal movie and Steven Seagal dies.
Yeah.
This is a Denzel Washington movie. He gets shot.
Yeah.
And the audience can't believe it. And I don't even know if I'm still driving. I just remember thinking, looking in my mirror, looking at what's going on, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
This is no way what I think it is. That
Yeah.
cannot be what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And it was what I thought it was.
Yeah. All right, hold on, Badcook.
Okay.
All right, Biker.
That's tough.
So you tell the ambulance, I'm not going to the
I
hospital.
denied the ride, which honestly,
Thank you, Badcook.
I should have probably went just to make it all
X-rays,
go
CAT
to
scan.
paper and have proof of it. Just document it. But I didn't wanna be in no hospital like no lab rat getting tubes and needles, and I'm not with none of that.
Yeah.
I'm not with it. You're not gonna pay me to experiment on me.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I'm not about to pay you for you to experiment on me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about hospital.
Yeah.
But they wind up taking my totaled bike that me and my oldest brother picked up and threw in the back of my father's pickup truck. They wind up making me and my brother unload it back on the ground so they can tow it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this bike, I'm telling her, I told the cop, I told him, this bike could never ride or drive again.
Pakistan couldn't put it back together.
It is total.
Yeah.
A third world country guy on YouTube that make cars from wood blocks can't rebuild this.
Right.
It's done.
Right.
It was T-boned.
Right.
Like, everything was destroyed.
Mangled.
On it. It was destroyed. The only thing I could have used was maybe the wiring harness.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, if it wasn't shorted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was just a terrible experience. None of the public servants made it better except for the ambulance drivers.
Yeah.
The EMS, man, it was on their stuff.
Yeah.
They almost got me to agree to go.
Yeah.
And then I told myself, bro, you don't need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And, you know, they was like, well, they was really trying to make me think I had to go because, you know, they brought up, oh, well, it could be internal bleeding.
That's true. That's true.
And I was like, I understand all of that.
Yeah.
I thought of that before I told you no.
Right.
But I'm willing to take the odds and not go to the hospital with y'all.
Right.
Maybe if I'm in a little bit of pain, I'll go after.
Yeah.
But I'm not about to leave this scene and wind up hearing, you know, hospital sounds.
Yeah.
I'd have cracked up.
Yeah, it was too much.
It was way too much.
Okay, stop right there. Badcook, thank you for sharing your story. And now you're just overwhelmed with, I can't believe
this movie just happened.
This movie just happened. I don't believe this.
In real life.
In real life.
Woo. Yeah, that's tough.
And you're trying to process all of this stuff that is going on that you didn't ask for.
Facts.
Hold on one second.
In the Matrix.
Yeah, it's a little digital. Yeah, it's digital. It's digital. It's a stronger digital. Yeah. It's a stronger digital. So I tell you what. Yep. I hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, now I don't.
Yeah, it's chopping up bad.
So, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the best it's been. I heard you say all right.
It's okay now? Just let me know when it's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
And just let me know when you're okay. So I'm just stating, like I said, that I'm just host. I drove. I don't want to say I drove. I just. So this guy, I finally stopped.
You find the guy's body?
No, I'm finally stopped. I just drove.
Oh, you
drove a quarter mile.
Right, but I'm like, I'm still like, maybe it was, maybe it was. What happened? You know, you're trying to process.
Right.
You're trying to process stuff because you know about pedestrians and distract. You know, you've seen it all.
Yeah.
And these guys pull up on top of me. These guys, because they were locals to the town, and they say, "Hey man, you all right, man? You all right, bro? Say, man, you got family, man?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, you call him, man." And he said, "We call the cops." And I was like, he said, and I was like, "I'm gonna call too." So I called the cops at dispatch, and they're telling me, "Turn around."
Yeah.
And I was like, "So what am I doing?"
Hold on, Badcook. Cause it's digital, bro, and I don't want to lose.
I don't know why it's doing that.
It might be me, man. I have 2 bars. Yeah.
Yeah, you got 1 ball.
It must be me, man. You know, I was up on that bridge on I-10.
Out in the jungle.
Eastbound, so it could very well be me.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking, Badcook.
Yeah.
All right, let's try again. So,
Okay.
the last thing I remember you hearing before you got digital, you said that this was a movie. The main character died. It was unexpected. Nobody saw this coming. You don't know if you was you. Yeah. Okay.
Don't know if it's real or still. It was in disbelief.
Disbelief.
And the best way I can say it is I'm stupefied. So
Yeah.
I turn around. I call the cops. I turn around. And they said, "You're the one that struck someone." She said, "Turn around." You know, so the dispatcher was a little firm with me. I guess, I don't know, maybe she was thinking, okay, well, it makes sense. Go turn around.
Yeah. She's not in the moment.
And I don't think people realize this. When you ain't never been through anything like this, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. I don't know what.
You don't know
so
up
anyway.
from down.
Yeah.
So I go back, and the guy's laying down, and I see this lady. A lot of people have stopped. This lady is crying, and she's bringing him his shoe. And I see a skateboard.
The skateboard?
A skateboard, yes.
Wow.
So the lady, at this point, I'm like, this is my fault. And this is all my fault.
Yeah.
I'm like, please be okay.
Yeah.
And by this time, the fire department, they came pretty quick because I was right near the police station.
Yeah.
And they're trying to revive him. They're pumping him, trying to give him a pulse, putting the air into his chest, and he got a pulse. He got a pulse at that moment. One of the girls came up, and she said that guy had been playing chicken in a room for the last 3 to 4 hours.
No way, man.
Yes. Been playing chicken in a room. Yep.
So he was trying to get hit.
Yeah. So he was playing chicken.
And,
What's the odds of her coming up saying that?
I ain't gonna lie. In that moment, you just like, please, this is a life.
Yeah.
This is a life. I don't want this person to not be here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I heard it, but I'm not listening to it.
Of course.
The cop is talking to me, and I look younger, so he's like, "You okay, man?" And I'm like, 30s. I'm like 34.
Yeah.
So, 33. And he's like, "How old are you, man?" He said, and I said 33. And he's like, "Wait, no, how old are you?" And I'm like, "I'm 33.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, where's your license?" So he thinking I'm bewildered. Because he like, this kid ain't no 33.
Yeah.
So I show him my license, and he's like, 33.
Yeah.
So then he fills out my stuff. He said, man, the usual stuff, what happened, and I recount everything to him.
Yeah.
And when I say you don't have enough guilt I don't have enough guilt that I can't find enough guilt that I gave myself.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I felt like I should literally in that moment should go sit behind bars. Just no due process, just go sit behind bars.
Yeah.
For what? My negligence. That's how I felt in that moment.
That's hard to hear, bro.
Yeah.
But it's definitely understandable.
That's accountability at its finest.
Yeah.
Because most people will not.
They'll justify.
They're going to throw anybody else under the bus.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Man, that's wild.
All right, Biker. So you refuse medical care. Thank you, Badcook. You refuse medical care.
Yeah.
You don't want to subject yourself to. It was too much for you.
That's just more trauma going to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I feel like who I believe in got me through a whole episode that I never even thought of experiencing. I'm gonna rely on who I've been relying on my whole life.
Yeah.
So I didn't go. Cops jerked me around, they let me see your ID and blah blah and this and that and your license, and of course I wasn't out there all the way right, but that made me get right.
Right. Yeah, you can learn from bad experience.
I had to go stand in the front of the judge.
Yeah.
And I had to provide all of my documentation for being out on that public road.
Yeah.
And it made me get my whole issue together.
Yeah.
I got home that night, felt decent for getting hit by a truck doing 45 miles an hour.
A Nissan Armada.
Yeah, I felt decent. So the longer I stayed seated, the worse pain it put me in.
Inflammation, swelling up.
Swole up.
Yeah.
I'm talking about parts of me that didn't even get touched was swollen.
Yeah.
So I was immobilized for like the first 2.5, 3 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't even close my eyes and go to sleep laying down.
Dang.
Like I was mangled, man. I was
in a bad spot.
I was in the worst spot I ever been in my life. I didn't know it could get that bad. But I did it to myself because I wasn't paying attention when I was supposed to be focused on only one thing.
Okay.
I lost focus and it almost cost me my life.
Okay. Stop right there, Biker. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Badcook. So the cop getting your information and you're going through this process. People working on this man on side the road. The feelings you have, the people outside watching the fire department. All right, what's going on?
Yeah.
The guilt you feel.
Yeah. I went in the I went into a mode where I wanted to be clear about everything. I'm spelling my name out, my birth date. I'm robotic because I know I have to do this for the sake of information.
Yeah.
Giving out the information. I know. At this time, the cop is like, I have to ask, man, have you been drinking? Have you been, are you inebriated? Have you, this and this? And I'm like, and I think about what I know about the Bible. I'm like, I don't want to, I know they say if you take somebody's life, you gotta, and it was an accident, you need to go
to the city of refuge
somewhere.
Yeah.
The city of refuge and hide yourself. But I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay right here and whatever come with it.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever thought about not being here.
From what standpoint, not being here?
Not wanting to live.
Oh, we're gonna just say flying away. So you thought about flying away?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you thought about that because of you unintentionally taking a life? Or you thought about that because of just all of the pressure and the weight and the confusion and the hopelessness, no light at the end of the tunnel?
All that. Yeah. It wasn't just, it was all of what you said.
Yeah.
But so they get him up. From what I remember, they gave him a pulse. So they take me to the station, which is right up the road.
Yeah.
I had to wait for another guy to come relieve me, one of the other drivers for my job.
Yeah.
And everyone has questions, so they're asking me the same thing. I'm writing it down. I'm reiterating it.
Yeah.
And the cop is saying he had on all black. He said, "So you saw him?" And I said, "I think I thought I saw him. Yeah."
Yeah, but you don't know. But you really don't know at the end of the day.
And that's where the accusation of myself comes.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have saw him.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't have any of the proper things that a person.
No high vis, no reflectors, no
reflectors, no yellow,
light colors,
no bright colors.
Yeah.
He just but I go there and I'm in there about 20 minutes, and the cop tells me, he comes and tells me that they didn't know his name, but the John Doe, he had died.
Wow. So where are you mentally right now with him telling you that? That's it, though. Like
I'm already not there. I'm already on planet Mars. By this time, I want to go out the galaxy.
Yeah.
I just, as far as I was looking at it, it was my fault.
Yeah. So you condemn yourself. Forget judge, jury. You condemn yourself for the decision that the deceased made.
Yes.
So, okay. So, thank you for saying that. We're going to go to Biker and we'll be right back. Now, Biker, you didn't get the best treatment from LE. You learned from it, though. You had to go before the judge. You fixed a few issues. Now, where are you at as far as the experience, the recovery, dealing with the pain?
Fully repaired. I'm fully restored, and I have a greater wealth of knowledge because of it. And it might sound a little weird, but that helped me more than a handout.
Yeah.
Because I had to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that I was really wrong for not being prepared, I didn't have my endorsement.
Oh, you needed an endorsement?
Yeah.
So I thought
that's a hog, boy.
Okay, I didn't know you needed an endorsement for it.
That's a hog.
Yeah.
So I didn't have my endorsement, but just no excuses. I wasn't 4 months into owning and riding.
Yeah.
So being that it happened the way that it happened forced me to take it
more serious from a legal standpoint.
Period.
Yeah.
I couldn't be slipping. I couldn't be half-stepping.
Yeah.
I couldn't be playing around.
Yeah.
So my experience when I'm out on the road is nothing like the knuckleheads that I used to roll with.
Yeah.
They was, just not even wanting to have helmets.
Yeah. They was out there
Like,
wilding out.
Bro,
Yeah.
we rolling 70 miles an hour on the interstate.
Yeah, you need a helmet.
Bro,
bare minimum.
anything could happen.
Yeah.
Something in the road could jump
Yeah.
up off of somebody's tire and take
Yeah.
your face off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from that experience, I learned, full face or no face.
I had one of them DMX helmets, and I had a bug hit me right in my forehead.
It'll put a
I almost
baseball-
laid the bike
yeah,
down.
It'll put
Yeah.
a baseball knot on
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
full face or no face, that's what I learned. Full face helmet, or you might as well not have
Yeah.
a face.
Yeah.
You want to have reconstructive surgery?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Don't wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Or wear half a helmet.
Yeah.
But in the spectrum of
Prevention.
it gave me a urge to want to know situations that I wasn't experienced with,
Mhm.
how to outcome.
Yeah.
Bro, I was already super duper into it,
Mm-hmm.
and that completely made me lose all love for it.
Yeah.
But once my body healed,
Yeah. The call came back.
man, that fire never went out. It was still lit. I just didn't I didn't understand. Man, my bike totaled.
Yeah.
I owe people money.
Yeah.
The tow truck
Yeah.
company is trying to scam me because of
Yeah.
law enforcement want them to take my bike and charge me for storage and all
Yeah.
of this crap.
Yeah.
So, once you let go some of the crap
Yeah.
and you take care of the stuff that need to be taken care of, if you walk outside and not scream,
Yeah.
you did something decent.
So, how do you feel about the person that hit you?
I feel like they was being negligent because, for one, the road that their vehicle was traveling on,
Yeah.
they were going above the speed limit.
Yeah.
I'm not no cop. I didn't have a radar gun, but the amount of distance I flew and the lack of squealing tires from
Yeah.
locking up brakes,
Yeah.
none of that was present when it happened.
Yeah.
I knew I flew at least a small U-Haul bus
Right.
away from where I actually was.
Yeah.
And when I heard the lady jump out of her truck, the first thing she said was, "Oh, I killed him. Oh, is he dead? Is he dead?" And I'm thinking to myself, like, you being more traumatic than me. But now,
Yeah.
being that bad cook just gave me the game to what happens when you actually are
The other side
the
of it.
party that hits,
The striker.
individual?
The striker, not the.
not the
catcher.
the being struck.
Yeah.
It really showed me that I was wrong from
Yeah.
thinking that of the lady, because at the end of the day, she was concerned.
She was concerned.
She just saw a body
Yeah.
be projected
Yeah.
from the force of her
Yeah.
truck.
So she's dealing with some of the
Oh.
same trauma that Bad Cook is dealing with.
She knows
the panic, the uncertainty, the person,
Bro,
the
all she did was scream.
yeah.
I thought it was my mom when she was screaming. So
That's what I
much.
thought about.
I thought it was my mama,
Our
but
grandma.
I was like, we don't own a Nissan
Yeah.
Armada, so.
Annie Mae,
But when it
yeah,
happened,
yeah,
I didn't understand her.
yeah.
I wanted to
Of course,
lash out,
of course.
but I was under
Yes, duress.
no. I was something had me calm,
Okay,
and it wasn't me.
you said it was the experience also of the homeless guy telling you everything was going to be all right.
I
and
believe
he appeared from nowhere.
I believe he took
Yeah,
my shock away, and it was instant calm.
Yeah.
I got creamed. I hit the concrete. I drug skin.
yeah.
Clothes
This
ripped,
guy pops
tore,
up.
and this guy instantly
With the right
appears
words.
in the middle of the street
Kneel down.
on one knee, and he looked homeless.
Yeah,
He looked like me.
yeah. Me too.
He looked like me. I love
Yeah.
looking homeless,
Yeah.
but he looked like me. But
Yeah.
he was a frail Caucasian fella.
Yeah.
Older, way older.
Yeah.
So I wasn't trying to talk to him. I wasn't trying to ask him nothing.
But he was comforting.
He comforted me, and I didn't
you had
understand where he came from.
Yeah.
Because it's pitch black in that section, so
Yeah.
he very well could have been walking on a neutral
Yeah.
ground.
But he was in the right place at the right time.
He was
God
there
said.
for me.
Yeah.
And a little small detail that is major, later on, like once I got up off of the ground after the EMS left and I declined the ride, I was looking for him. Like I scanned the whole intersection, and it's wide open, so you'll see something going either two ways.
Yeah.
No, he was nowhere to be found.
He was gone.
So it was a real person, because he touched me and I touched his hand, and he talked to me. I didn't talk to him.
Yeah. So I will say this. There have been a number of times I've stopped to assist
Somebody.
a scene, an emergency scene.
Somebody in need.
Not in my official capacity.
Just being a regular
As a
great
public
person.
servant.
Yeah.
I'll stop, and when they're good, I leave.
Facts.
When I see the ambulance coming, I leave.
Because you're not.
When I
needed
see the
anymore.
cop car coming or the fire truck coming, I leave
You
because
don't
they're
wanna-
good.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a news story.
So
You
I'm just
wanted to
giving
help.
you the other side of I've
With
been that guy. I've been that guy.
I've been that guy too.
Yeah.
But not in a situation as close.
Yeah.
In intensity.
Yeah.
As that. That was the craziest.
I cut a guy out of bar. Look, I just bought some $30 Klein lineman pliers, and I used to keep tools in the truck.
Facts.
And I'm driving from Houma, and there's this accident. This guy, Tahoe, wipes out, ejected. He's in the barbed wire.
Ooh, in the median?
Past the median, like he went, into a barbed wire fence. It's cattle country.
Oh.
And man, I'm like, man, I said, let me go run back to the truck and get those
Like
linemen.
he was hung up?
Yeah, I cut him loose. Forget the cows, I cut the man loose.
Wow.
And I was so thankful I had those linemen.
Yeah, because without him, he would have been there until somebody came with him.
But anyway, so that's just okay, Badcook. So you just find out that the victim is deceased, and he was successful in his flying away. Where are you at now, mentally, physically? What are you thinking about other than flying yourself or going to prison for the rest of your life? Like, where are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So, you mean right now or
No, so
2018?
2018, when you get hit with all of this news about the deceased, and you just want to disappear. What's next?
Well, what's next is clearly, they found out, I hadn't been drinking anything and stuff like that. They took testimony of some locals, like the lady that said that the guy had been in the street, had been held up traffic a innumerable amount of times during the day, and then so I get in the truck and the guy comes get me, and I'm just recounting everything, and I'm just numb. I don't even want to drive. I think I didn't go to work for 2 months.
Yeah.
I didn't go to work for 2 months.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to drive.
I mean, how could you? How could you,
Yeah, it's just, and then in my mind, the guilt is up and down, because now it's settling with me that, I And then people at my job, my coworkers, they're like, one of my coworkers is like, well, he killed the guy. Like according to what they're saying, they said, I don't know, it became a rumor at the job, like that I killed somebody.
So why would he say that?
Messy.
I don't know.
People
I
are
don't
messy.
know. It's just, yeah. But it got back to me, and I was just like, I can't change how somebody feel, but you know, whatever. I was part-time, so they didn't even see me. Those guys didn't even really see me to make a conclusive whatever. So they have. So of course I had to deal with just trying to feel normal about driving. I have to drive.
Yeah.
And so a lot of time goes by. I finally go back to work. And every time I pass that area,
yeah, the streets talk.
And mind you, about over these 2 months, it may have been a month. I say it may have been a month I didn't go back to work.
Yeah.
But it's almost like I recall that area. So I'm trying to say, was I on my phone? I'm replaying now. I'm really guilty myself. Every time I had that area, I'm replaying stuff.
So
did I do this?
So
did I should I have gotten over? Was he? You know, everything is just.
So you have survivor's guilt.
Is just hitting me with all different scenarios. Yeah, it's like scenarios. But I'm dealing with a lawyer.
Yeah.
So they come back with a toxicology report, and he was loaded with alcohol.
Yeah.
The guy, and that meant time. So now I'm going through this whole thing. Oh well, keep your phone, don't delete messages, because the business has a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with those legalities where I probably, you know, if they see I was at fault in any way, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, I want to quit this job immediately, but I'm like, okay, I have to get my own lawyer.
Yeah.
If I do, I have to fight that. Okay, they have a lawyer, and I'll let them do their due process.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell myself, I'm trying to weigh it out, and I'm praying about it. I'm like, I know I didn't do. You know, you just don't know. It's just something happened like that happened so fast.
So
you just don't know.
So if I may say, what you're experiencing is something that people also experience when under great pressure. They'll actually admit to doing a crime that they did not do.
Yeah.
And they will go to jail for years because they admitted to doing a crime they did not do.
Yeah.
The pressure could get that great, and that's what you're experiencing right now. So
the weirdest thing about that situation, I remember I bought a nice. I caught a nice deal on a dry and a washer. So my friend, he had the truck. So I was like, man, we have a good washer. You can have the washer. Like, we don't need the washer. The dryer work. And we got a real good deal on a Whirlpool older washer. And so we're picking it up. And I get a call. And it's the guy that got killed, his widower.
Wow.
Yeah. The odds of that.
So those feelings that have been, and I was thinking, what kind of shady police? Well, I'm like, wait a minute. Why would they give her my information as if this was a fender bender?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, I could possibly be prosecuted, or so she calls me
civilly sued
or killed.
So does she have my address?
Facts.
So she calls me, and she calls me for answers, and it was one of the hardest.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest calls I ever had to take in my life, because the answer I had was one that wasn't going to satisfy this mother that had a 6-month-old baby. I guess she was pregnant, and they were going through issues.
Wow.
From what his text messages says.
Yeah.
He was going through issues. They were going back and forth. Him and his girlfriend had broke up with him.
Yeah.
or, you know, on and off again. I guess it was that situation. So I don't know if she was looking for compensation. I don't know now that I think about it. Because I was like, when she told me it's been a struggle for her, I don't know if she was trying to slam me with the guilt that I was trying to shake off.
Yeah.
Or if she was, I don't know. But it was just, I tried to comfort her the best I could.
Yeah.
And, you know, according to what I know about being sympathetic. But, you know, they were convinced that he didn't want to free himself from his life.
And look, listen, that's normal. That's normal.
They cope with it
That's
by
normal.
drinking.
Yeah.
And then having those diluted thoughts.
Yeah.
And then that's where you wind up.
Yeah. I was on a call one night. We get a call, and this lady attempted flying away, right? So we get there. Mm-hmm. I never heard a person wail in my life before. It's different from crying.
Yeah.
Somebody let us in the house. Never been in this house. Seen this house a million times. My driver, he's first. I have all the medical bags. My captain is last. The door is like our house in Woodmere. The door opens up. She just starts to run. My driver starts to run. I got an oxygen bottle in a medical bag. I'm running through the house. This lady is wailing her heart out. And it just seemed like it was so long running through the hallway. They got ahead of me and I couldn't even see them. I didn't know. So I'm running blind through this house. It's well lit. Find a back door, run outside in the yard, and all I hear is the sound of someone with a hacksaw cutting somebody in half.
What?
That's what it sounds like because she's wailing.
I was about to say,
because
what?
she's wailing so.
Yeah. She's in trauma. She can't
and
even
then
control herself.
I see him laying on the ground, and he has a .38 caliber exit wound, sorta. It's a bulge, like in the cartoons when you get hit in the head and you get the hematoma. The bullet doesn't fully perforate the skull. And she is wailing and wailing and wailing. And I get close, I get the medical bag out the way. There's blood everywhere. I start CPR, and every time I push, I smell Bud Light.
Gone off them bruise.
And my thought is, while I'm pumping on his chest, if he would not have been drunk,
he wouldn't
have done it.
Yeah.
So for the victim,
Man.
which you are the victim, D.
Facts.
But for the victim of his own demise, if he wouldn't have been drunk, it wouldn't have happened.
But in Badcook's situation, if he wouldn't have been the one to hit the guy, someone else was going to hit him because he wanted to get hit.
He was ready.
He was
ready.
playing in traffic. Drunk.
And he was a New Yorker. So him being down here, he
was out of his element.
He met this girl. Perhaps fell in love from what his dad was saying. I had reports talking to our company lawyer, and his dad was adamant that, you know, he didn't think his son wanted to fly away, but his son had called him several times during that evening. Several times. To which they had communicated with each other.
He was ready, bro. So
even though this is where I struggle with, when someone is trying to no longer be here or fly away, I have to put myself in a situation where the survivor's remorse is, I would have rather possibly flip myself in a ditch.
Of course.
Spare him.
And that's what I was trying to explain to my family. That's what was the biggest dilemma with, even though, okay, you can help this person. I'll take a broken arm. I'll knock myself unconscious. That means
I'll go rather than
the
take
worst
him.
Possible ultimatum. But then, like I said, reasonableness is like, what if I swing over and I hurt someone else? Hurt myself and someone else, and they get. How do you explain that? You can't. I was trying to avoid this. And that person is gonna get on their skateboard and just go across while I'm in a traffic accident with
avoiding them.
Another victim.
Yeah. So it is
That's sticky, man.
Yeah. It's hard though when you go through trauma to not ruminate what if. That's what really messes us up.
Yeah. You got to stick to what happened, what you could have controlled, and what you couldn't have controlled.
And also what you could learn from it.
Oh, you always got to learn from it. It's a lesson, not a loss.
Yeah.
They say, take your L.
Yeah.
That's not a loss.
Yeah.
It's a lesson.
It's a lesson.
Yeah. Why that's life. There's still lessons.
Everything is a
breathing
lesson.
Life.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can learn from everybody.
So I think I'm really thankful that y'all were able to tell a portion of
Small.
y'all.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
It felt good. Now I'm ready to eat this Thai food.
Yeah, but this is really what I want to know though, and I'm gonna ask you first, Biker. If you could give somebody advice based on your experience being struck by a SUV going no less than 45 miles an hour, surviving as a miracle surviving.
With no broken bones.
A lot of pain, a lot of recovery.
Oh, yeah.
But still having the gift of life. What would that advice be?
You can avoid a lot by where you're putting yourself and the people you're around. So that don't mean strangers not good for you. That don't mean family's not good for you. That don't mean your girlfriend or your other half is not good for you. That means anything could happen at any time if you're not aware of where you're at and where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Because look, that's what my whole story, that's what it all cracked up to.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have even went, but because I went and was so excited coming back, I lost track of thought.
Yeah.
For a split second, put me on a different street in my own head, and it cost me.
Yeah.
Cost me a lot, honestly. It cost a lot to get out of that, but it could have been worse.
Yeah.
I could have not gotten out of that.
That's right.
That could have been it.
Could have been it.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like to tell people, enjoy your motorcycles.
Yeah.
But be prepared for the slide, not the ride.
That's right.
So that means flip-flops, shorts.
I slid.
Oh, I remember you almost got crushed by a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
But you gotta be smart because having fun is dangerous.
That's right.
That's the most dangerous thing you can leave your house thinking you're about to go.
I've been on a lot of emergency calls where people had fun.
Everybody was having fun until it's no longer
until it's not fun. Yeah.
And guess what? I don't like to put myself in them situations.
Yeah.
So I like to have fun where I know it can't cause any problems.
Yeah.
But I'm not everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm one grain of salt in a tugboat barge full of it.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, mind your business. Pay attention to what you have going on. Make sure your little goals that you're trying to meet, you know, you leave somewhere to go somewhere else, that's a goal to make it to that next place.
Right.
Pay attention to what you got in front of you. Don't worry about social media. Your phone could wait. A call could wait.
Yeah.
Be responsible for yourself.
Right.
Be accountable when you mess up.
Right.
Don't blame. Take the blame.
Right.
And then deal with it to where it'll be hard for you to do that again.
Right. Learn from it.
You gotta learn.
Yeah.
If you don't learn, you might as well go fly away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're gonna hurt someone in the process of you just lolly and
not
living
taking
life.
it serious. Yeah.
People don't understand how precious life is.
Yeah.
We don't make life.
Right.
We don't have the ability to make life.
Right.
Now, if you watch, the internet enough, they'll make you believe we have the ability to make life. But we are not in control of none of that.
Right.
We only can do what we were put here to do.
Right.
And that ain't making nothing.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
We give ourselves too much credit as mankind.
Yeah.
Mankind is nothing but mankind.
Correct.
We are a project to the grand architect.
Right.
He created us.
Right.
So we be getting it twisted. We be forgetting who we are and how much we really don't matter. But if you're around people who love you and you love them, you always gonna matter.
Correct.
So stay out of dangerous and, violent situations and people who don't mean you no well. Just, go on and live your life and do what you want to do versus being somewhere and, getting bullied around or getting used, stepped on, stepped over. Life is so short. We don't know when we could go.
That's right.
That's how short it is.
That's right.
But I try to stay in the now.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in the now, I know what happened in the future.
Yeah.
Like the real what happened. And I can foresee what should happen in the future.
I got you. We understand.
Past.
I'm dyslexic. I picked that up.
You're not the only one.
I'm already on it.
It's in the blood. But I think that's a great thing because it make you see it from two different ways that normal people would only see it from.
No, you said.
Yeah. But I love people from a distance.
Yeah.
And because of that, a lot of people who I'm, close to, they might think I'm not caring or, loving when, if you know me, what I got is yours.
Right.
I'm just holding it for when you need it.
Right.
Like, I see homeless people and they move me.
Yeah.
So, because the $20 in my wallet can't really do nothing for me in my life.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this $20 don't even belong to me.
Right. Not in this moment.
I don't need this. This can't benefit me at all right now.
Yeah.
But you know who it can benefit?
Yeah.
That guy sitting right there holding a cardboard sign needing something to eat.
Right.
Who am I to deny him? That's where I'm at with it.
Right.
That's where I'm going to stay at with it.
Yeah.
Money can never help me. It can only hurt me.
Yeah.
Because you can just look at people with a lot of it.
Oh, yeah. They're not happy.
It makes them worse human.
Yeah. More aggressive.
They just,
more
short
selfish,
with people.
More entitled.
Who does he think he is?
Yeah.
He's exactly who you think you are.
Correct.
It's not that hard.
No more, no less.
Leave the ego
Yeah.
on the pillow.
Yeah.
Because that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
It don't belong in your head, exuding out your body.
Right.
Oh, I'm stylish. I got fashion. I'm fashion savvy. And, bro, make the clothes.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Right.
So that shows me immaturity on other people's behalf when they put materials over actual people and things that mean something.
Right.
It don't mean that you're matching. It means that, I'm into the law. I'm trying to figure out this law stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not just criminal law. I'm talking about trust law.
Yeah.
I'm talking about stuff that really matters.
Yeah.
Stuff that explains to the average person who was told one thing and find out that everything they was taught is almost actually a 180 from the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a test, One answer is obviously wrong.
Facts.
One answer is the truth.
Facts.
One answer is a play on the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a weird world we live in, but I'm not a part of the world. I really love being separate from the world because I have to be accountable for me. So, people, oh man, can you help me out? I could, but if I did, what would it really help you? Like, how could this help you? And I don't mean that to like a person that I see that needs. Because if I see you need, I'm not even gonna ask myself. I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah.
But I'm giving to the right people for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I can't give somebody something that they claim to need when they was just in my face talking about, oh man, my shoes cleaner than yours, and this, that, and the other, and boy, when I get paid this week, my check gonna be bigger than yours because I work this, that, and it's like, bro, get over yourself.
Yeah, get a life, man.
A job, nobody want a job. They have to have a job.
Yeah, that's facts.
Nobody want to go to work. Nobody love going to work. They have to go to work to provide for the life that they live when they're not at work.
Correct.
So it's not about money and things. It's about relationships and people, and realizing that none of this in our eyesight, as far as we could hear, can we control.
I agree with that.
We can't control none of this. You can only control yourself.
That's it. And how you respond to what's in front of you. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Because if I would have had to cut somebody out of barbed wire, I'd have probably passed out.
In the moment, that's what he needed.
I have a weak stomach. So when I see, videos of people with broken bones.
But it's different in real life.
I feel you.
Because in real life, our brain protects us from the graphic image that it is. It's not like watching it on TV. Even though it looked the same. But your brain is in shock.
You're processing it different.
You're processing it totally different. You hear the screams of the kid needing help more than the sights of the kid screaming because of the injury.
I don't know if I could. I wouldn't be able to be a first responder, bro.
You already up.
Kind of, sort of, but I don't actually have a uniform and go out and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be able to
But remember, the neighborly Samaritan was the first responder.
Facts. I definitely...
And you don't need no certification for that.
Well, you kind of do.
You protect it as a good Samaritan.
You got to be a good person.
Yeah.
Bad people don't help people.
Nah.
So if you're a helper, obviously, you shouldn't be doing the wrong things in life, because that's not for you.
Not for you.
You're going to walk into your own drug deal.
Yeah.
And when they say, put your hands up, it's too late.
It's too late.
You're grass.
You miss so many opportunities before that.
They showed you that you was going to do this. Yeah. But you thinking, oh man, this is my boys, man. That's my partner, man. I knew him from way back.
Oh yeah.
But he's trying to get off of a federal case of his own.
There you go. Yeah.
He's offering you up as chum. I don't want to be disposable to people like that. So I stay in my own lane. I mind my business. I help where I can. But I'm never going to be the one trying to help somebody who don't want help.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get me in some type of
stuff. You just be there for when they ready.
Yeah, I could do that. But I'm not about to baby you and pacify you.
Yeah. No,
come on, let me help you, please. I'm not about to beg to help you.
No. Ain't gonna happen.
But I know people who would do that.
Yeah.
They'll hurt themselves.
Yeah.
To try to help somebody else.
Who's gonna hurt them?
But the person that they're trying to help is not even going to accept the help and use it the right way.
No, they won't.
They're going to flip it and make your time a waste.
A waste.
They're going to put you in a negative. They stealing from you and they giving it to nothing.
To nothing.
They're wasting it.
It's all in vain.
I love who I love because I know what it is.
That's right.
I can't say, I love everybody because I don't know everybody.
Yeah. Right. That's the truth. I do
love people though.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be malicious and just hurtful and trying to, I'm a man and masculinity and no. Women know their roles.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell them their role.
Yeah.
Now if she's delusional,
that's different.
I wouldn't be able to help. I can't help her no matter what.
Right.
But you got to learn from your so-called losses. Instead of a loss, call it a lesson.
Learn from your lesson.
It might soak up different.
You pay tuition every time you learn.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that.
Right.
Tuition.
Bad cook. Where you at, man? So same question. What would be your advice to someone who experiences the trauma that you've experienced?
That's some trauma there.
Life is a trial, and like there's so many words that Biker used. It's all about life lessons, and there's unfortunately I can't get on horse and buggy. I can't get inside a person's head. I can't be there, a mental compass for everybody that goes through things mentally.
Yeah.
But it allows me to be able to call my friends, understand the importance of family, and it's not about blood, but it's about who really is your brother, who's your mother, who's your sister, who's your father.
Yeah.
And being able to reach out to those people to where you get in those dark moments, whether you are a victim or a person that's always blaming yourself for victimizing someone.
Right.
You can reach out to somebody and be there for them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that you can turn being a victim into a victory, because like people, no matter what happens, life, so to speak, goes on. I know that's cliche, but life won't stop because I need to share with someone. I need to share with people my experience and understand the depth of how now far down the rabbit hole you can go with the person, how far down, even when I don't know who to turn to tell how this is really making me feel. But just having the opportunity to let someone know and to get those virtual hugs, or a real hug.
Right.
Just when you go through stuff, just having someone to go through something with.
Fact.
That's what I learned at the end of the day from this. Because my mom used to tell me, make a joke and say they're out to get you when I would leave the house to go to on my road trips to Texas or whatever.
Yeah.
But some people, they are negligent. They don't plan on obeying the rules. They plan on putting the pedal to the concrete under them.
Shortcuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, crashing out.
And then there's our grandmas out there that are still able to drive. Yeah. They're just minding their own business, going to the grocery store to get their discount, their senior discount.
Taking a long way.
Oh yeah.
but
holding everybody.
It's just all kinds of different drivers, and you never know.
Yeah.
So you can't control that, but you can control. You can somewhat control. Loving people, being there for people, and just like I said, this call, not only call your friend, but answer the phone when your friends call,
Facts.
man.
Yeah,
facts.
You know,
that's right.
Because and it's almost impossible to say you're always gonna answer.
You can't always.
But man, you know.
But you know for answering.
Yeah.
I sent 5 people I know that called to voicemail.
Well, we
But I'm saying, like, but I'm known for answering.
Facts.
But I couldn't answer right now.
Facts. Well, then you just have to tune in and see why you couldn't answer.
Yeah. But I do want to say I appreciate both of y'all opening up, Biker and Badcook, and sharing some of your story. We might have to do a part 2, man.
Anytime.
Because I feel like we left a lot on the table.
We did.
But
I ain't even get real detail, but that was the bulk of it.
Yeah.
You know?
So maybe we'll do a part 2. But what I'm gonna say to everybody, all the viewers, is thanks for looking at Pause and Play NOLA podcast across the river. And I definitely want to thank our special guest, Biker and Badcook, for sharing some of their story. And be on the lookout for a part 2, because I think we gotta finish chewing this fat a little bit more. So
no rush.
Yeah.
But we can.
Yeah. But we'll see y'all at the next one, all right? Thanks for watching.
Peace.